So welcome to Finland, the land of 1,000 lakes, a gazillion mosquitoes, and it would seem dirt roads. So the roads we've been on this morning haven't actually been too bad, apart from the very first one, which was a nightmare. But since we've been in Finland, the roads have been pretty good. They've been very clear, and we've been doing 80, 90k, no problem at all. And now they've got 56k of dirt road. To be honest, this isn't as bad as the road in Norway yesterday, and this morning, but it's still quite interesting. 50 odd k of dirt road, and this is one of their main roads through to Sweden. So there you go.
Call it off, let it go.
So this is Gamla church town, and all these cottages were built any time from the 1500s onwards. Once the church was here, people started to build cottages, but people have never been allowed to stay in these cottages, never allowed to live in them, I should say. People basically built these cottages to come and stay in when there were big festivals at the church. They would come, they would stay overnight or two, and then they would go away again. And that is still the rules today. Nobody's allowed to actually live in these cottages, but they come for church festivals and then they go away again. And they're not allowed to be holiday cottages either. Which is good because it keeps them in their original state. They have to be particularly red and white framed windows and that kind of thing. And yeah, it's lovely to see actually. There's about 500 odd buildings in this village too. And the ones that you're looking at are the oldest ones. So this is the church of Neda and it was built in the 15th century and consecrated in 29th of June 1492. And the pulpit there on the left was built in 1712 by a local village joiner. Quite a very intricate, amazing thing. And then at the end there is the chancel, the altarpiece, and that is carved in wood and gilded, and it was actually made in Antwerp. Again, incredibly intricate, very, very detailed. Shows Christ in his infancy and then at his passion as well. And then above Roger at the moment there is a huge crucifix. And that is quite amazing because in the summer where we are at the moment, the sun sets in the window behind there and lights him up fantastically. This church is still used and it is still the centre of the village, and a lot of people who have cottages in the village come here for celebrations. This huge organ was very, very modern for this church, and it was actually first used in 1971, and it has 4,200 pipes. And it's quite amazing to look at. It's in beautiful condition as well. So basically this church, when it was built in 1492, the Russians were showing a lot of interest in this area, and local people had got very rich through farming, through furs, selling furs and farming salmon or catching salmon, and they decided to build this impressive church to kind of show the Russians that yes, we're here and no, we don't want you in this area. And it was one of the first stone-built churches as well, and it's got stones, 40 different types of stones in it, which look in amazing condition as well.
Today is our first day in Sweden, and we've chosen this park for the night spot, which basically is a community-run project, and we have to pay for it, but it is less than £9, and I think that's a bargain. You have a loo. We are the only ones here, realistically. There aren't actually going to be that many people who can come here. There's a fire pit. There's a little hut here as well if you want to go and out of the rain or snow, whatever it might be at the time. And we could have cooked our burgers over the fire. It's just amazing. For £9, it's a great place. And today we crossed the Arctic Circle, and we've been in the Arctic now for 18 nights. So effectively, we haven't had a night where we haven't seen the sun, if the clouds weren't out, for 18 nights. I have to say, it's all a bit weird. Not kind of used to that kind of thing, whereby it's light 24/7. Really not used to it, but I guess you get used to it, and I guess you get used to the being dark 24/7 as well. But again, another great place.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Now, you might remember last night Roger did a video that showed the fantastic spot that we'd got just by the lake there. But at about midnight, or 10 to midnight, we actually had to leave that spot because we were getting eaten alive by mosquitoes again. We didn't have any sleep the night before last, did we, because of the mosquitoes? We got up at 4 o'clock or whatever it was.
We were in Finland then,
And last night we moved at about midnight because the mosquitoes, and we came here. Not nearly such a nice place, but, and there's mosquitoes again now, seemingly less mosquitoes when we got here.
Yes, indeed.
But sadly not that much less. And
yeah, it was bizarre because during the evening it was fine in the last
lovely.
place.
Yeah, no,
didn't have any
one or
problems at
two
all.
came in, that was about it, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we had the roof open and we thought they were just coming in through the roof, didn't we?
Yeah.
And it was, yeah, but when we got to bed, it was just a complete nightmare. We're both like dot-to-dot books now because we've got just bites all over us.
You're more than me.
Yeah, well, I am a magnet for mosquitoes, so we've ended up by the port here because we thought that by the sea may be a little better, and it was a little better.
It was a
but
little
it was
better, yeah.
still pretty bad. So now we think they've been coming in through the two roof vents in the back. So I've now put kitchen roll through all, because there's quite a draft that comes in there, so there must be a gap enough for a mosquito to get in.
Yeah.
So I've wedged them all with kitchen roll, and we're hoping that that's going to work. We'll just have to see what happens
I was
tonight.
gonna say, yeah.
Watch this space.
Yes. They were all...
You've got a mozzie on you. You've got a mozzie on you. Sorry. Sorry, you might need to start again. Sorry. I could just see him buzzing around with you. Sorry, Rog.
Yeah.
Oh, well done.
Die.
So we finally decided that Henry was much, much too dirty because we went on a dirt road the other day and he was filthy beyond filthiness. So we pulled into a car wash and we just had to clean him because he's so disgustingly dirty. We really didn't have any choice. And he will look much better for it, I'm sure. Roger's trying not to get too filthy at the same time, but it's not easy. He was disgustingly dirty though, so I'm not really surprised. So we are in Östersund, which is sort of central Sweden. We're by a lake and we're camping here. We've walked about 2.5 miles into town and we are in Winston's and we're about to have some dinner. And we've ordered wings to start with, which we're going to share. And then I've ordered beef entrecote and Roger has ordered reindeer. So I've got a glass of wine, and this is the first wine I've had. It was 92 for a small glass, so that's about £8, £7-8. Could be worse, but it's quite expensive. Roger's got a beer. He's had a few ciders, but no beer while we've been out either. So yeah, it's a first for all of us. Cheers. So we ordered wings for a starter. It said hot, spicy wings. Man, I don't think I've had anything as spicy as that for a very long time. Made me cough, made my eyes water. My lips are burning as well. Certainly very, very spicy. And it's covered in jalapenos. You can maybe have another one? Man, Roger wants me to have another one, just so that I can show you on camera how hot they are. I'm taking off the jalapenos, I'm afraid. They're very, very hot. Very nice, but very hot. So these are our main courses. I've got no beef entrecote and Roger's got reindeer. We had to get water after the starters because our lips were on fire so much that we wanted to try and clear our palate before we started with this. This looks and smells absolutely delicious. So we'll just have to see how it tastes. So we've just had our main courses. My beef was absolutely delicious. It came with smashed potatoes and a bit of salad. It was lovely. And I tried a bit of Roger's reindeer, which was absolutely delicious as well. And I'm not sure what it came with. It came with a pickled carrot and something else, but it was very, very tasty. And Roger thought so too, didn't you?
Definitely.
So yeah, it was lovely. Very, very nice indeed. So this is the Hoga Cen Bridge, Apparently it's Sweden's answer to the Golden Gate Bridge. It's 1,826 metres long and it stands about 180 metres above the water as well, and boats up to 40 metres high can go underneath the bridge. It took about 4 years to build, about 1 million man-hours, something like that. It's quite nice, it's quite impressive when you go over it, and it's a lovely parky bit here as well. They've done quite well as far as actually setting up for tourists on this bit as well, I would say. So we are in Gamla Upsala, and actually we are here for this great big long ridge here, which is a whole load of burial mounds, and they date from about 500 AD, and we've just been reading about them, and there's all kinds of theories. We think these bigger mounds are probably royal people who are buried inside. They said about men and all that, but actually when some of the bones were excavated, they were women. We buried lots of other animals and gold bits and pieces and all kinds of things, so presumably to signify their wealth and to offer to the gods to give them a good time into the afterlife, we're assuming. And there's also a very flat area here, and apparently that was written in about 1000 AD, and it was saying about the fact this was used for horse racing, they think. Because it was a flat area that was surrounded by mountains, was the description. I'm not sure mountains are around here, but it is quite a flat area and there are mounds around it. So I don't think the real answer is nobody really knows who's buried here or why. There's lots of hypotheses about it, but it's a very interesting place to come.
And the best horses were actually sacrificed.
Oh yeah, that was really weird when we read about that. The best horses in the race, the ones that won, were then sacrificed to offer to the gods, presumably to appease them and to say, well, actually, you know, we're giving you the best, therefore make sure you look after us. Very strange, but... So we're here at Upsala Cathedral. We've just been in and had a look around. It's beautiful inside. It was started in around 1275, but it wasn't finally consecrated until about 1435. It's the largest church in Sweden, and it has been the place of coronation of lots of the kings and queens of Sweden as well. So it's got a fairly august history, I think it's fair to say. And yeah, it's very interesting inside. There's a few pictures which I can share with you of the inside as well. Yeah, it's lovely in there. We came just as the service was going on. There was probably a relatively small congregation that came out, but loads of people in there now, of course, all looking around sightseeing. So we are in Uppsala, and Uppsala is a big university city, and it is apparently the oldest university in Sweden, and something like 40,000 students here during term time. We think it's the end of the term. There's still quite a few bikes around, but not many people. Although it could just be that it's 1 o'clock and students are still in bed, who knows. But yes, we think it's the end of the term. But it's a lovely city, lots of canals, lots of outdoor eateries, very al fresco living. Yeah, lots of wide streets, lovely, really, really pretty.